The Adelaide event it's the pinnacle of eventing in Australia.
I know for me it's what I've sort of been aiming for all year.
People travel from all around Australia to come to this event.
Just to win here just means so much. It's our biggest event.
The sport of equestrianism is rewarding and unforgiving.
Riding in the 4-star, it's the top level. It's as far as we can go.
It's exciting. It's all I've wanted to go 4-star.
It's a huge achievement.
It's 3 phases designed to test both horse and rider.
The dressage test is a very high standard test, a lot of technically difficult movements for horses to perform.
The cross country is definitely an adrenaline rush.
It's a tight track, it's all roped off.
The show jumping phase, it's very difficult when rails can fall down at the lightest touch.
The Elite FEI Classic Series moves to South Australia, a state rich in natural beauty. The city of Adelaide, renowned for its high quality of life.
It is the only big event in the Southern Hemisphere.
Here in the city centre, a challenging venue awaits.
And everyone's cheering for you, and you're still so aware of all these people, and it's an amazing atmosphere.
Where bravery and trust are rewarded. Riding by the seat of her pants.
The partnership is definitely key.
This is the most prestigious equestrian prize in the Southern Hemisphere. This is Adelaide.
This event is certainly a major selection event for Rio.
It's very important. You work all year towards Adelaide.
Everyone comes here to win. We all want to be in the top 3.
To win on Sunday would just mean the world to me.
It's the event that everybody comes to. It's what everybody strives for.
This is Australia's international 3-day event.
It's one of the most unique events in the world.
Well, a very warm welcome to Australia's international 3-day event here in the heart of Adelaide for the Horseland CCI 2-star and the FEI Classics second leg of 6 for the 4-star 3-day event. Well, I'm Spencer Sturmey, and I'm very thrilled to be joined by the event director here at Adelaide, Jill Rolton.
Thanks, Spencer. It's lovely to have you here as well.
We moved to a crowd-filled stand, the newly renovated grandstand, and it was at Kirby Park all of a sudden with the very experienced Australian team silver medalist from the Beijing Olympics, Megan Jones, and the 14-year-old Kirby Park all of a sudden. They had a standout performance in the dressage.
Yeah, this horse is a thoroughbred horse. He didn't race, but he was bred to race, and he was quite naughty when she first got him, but she's really got his handle now and produced a lovely winning test.
Belinda Isbister and Holy Bruce in second place after the dressage. Seamus Marwood, he had a very good dressage, leaving him in third place, and absolutely delighted with his dressage. In fourth place, Izzy English, 19-year-old Izzy with Feldale Mouse. In fifth place, Charlotte Price and Kinordi Gambia. Sixth place was Jessica Manson and Legal Star.
And this year's event ambassador, we were very honoured to have Dirk Schrader, team gold medalist from the London Olympic Games, give us insights into dressage. He did a wonderful masterclass with some of our up-and-coming horses and riders.
Well, cross-country day dawned bright in the impressive East Parklands. Victoria Park, Rymel Park, and the crowd gathered to watch some really, truly inspirational action.
5, 4,
First out on
3,
course was
2,
Tegan Lush.
1,
Tegan riding the 11-year-old Tempest Fugit as she sets out on this really challenging course. The distance of the 4-star track, 6,498 metres, and optimum time of 11 minutes 24 was certainly going to be a challenge. The first test of accuracy came at the eventful Life Sportsfields corner brush at 6A and B. Some long galloping stretches, they crossed the road for the first time to the Brand SA Keyhole fence and the SATC Rymel Lake at 17 and 18. The next accuracy question comes at 20, the Equestrian Australia Stag Corner Brushes before the Channel 7 logo at 26. Back to the water for the final time. They cross over Wakefield Road and the Grand Prix track towards the main arena and the final fence, the Qantas Horseshoe Welcome Home.
Aussie Olympian and last year's winner Chris Burton and Dirk Schrader are going to give us some tips on how to ride some of these fences.
Okay, fence 16, the brand SA Keyhole. Always a tough fence at the top of the hill at Adelaide. This year a keyhole, which makes a lot of young horses spook and look, shortly followed by the water at Adelaide. This is one of the toughest things people don't realise about riding here. You've come through the trees over a string of ditches, and by this stage, a lot of the young horses or green horses at this level will be taking a serious look.
We're here at 20AB, the stair corners. Very tricky fence because it's very narrow, 2 corners on a related distance, 2 strides. The difficulty is to line up those 2 corners and don't have a run out, and this would want to be well prepared, otherwise you quickly end up with a run out.
Well, Tegan Lush and Tempest Fugit come to the brand SA Keyhole and drop down the hill to the SATC water. Just setting up nicely, moved across the country as quick as she may have liked, but it's still safe as they go on to the mound in the middle, popping back to trot.
Yeah, this horse a couple of years ago was quite out of control. She really went very fast and had a miss at a double of corners, so she's playing it safe.
Well, next to go, Jessica Manson, 22-year-old with Legal Star.
What a great little horse this is. He's little, he's chunky, but he's full of guts and full of running.
Well, they were 4th here in the 4-star 2 years ago, back in 2012, and this lovely horse is away.
It's a pretty clever little horse, and I was pretty confident going out there, you know, he's quite experienced now. He's done Adelaide a couple of times before, so I was reasonably confident. There were a few little things that I sort of had in the back of my mind, sort of 6AB and the water jump and a couple of other things.
Well, down to the water in front of the packed crowd at the VIP area, Tegan Lush and Tempest Fugit. It's a quite intense part of jumping through the water.
Oh gee, had a little trip on landing there, but she sat tight and kept him in balance.
Well, she sat very tight indeed. Tegan having a great round across the country as we see our next combination, Maddie Simpson. Maddie riding her own and Colin Simpson's Major James from Queensland. Back to Jessica Manson up at the stag corners. Real test of accuracy coming inside the tree for the straight line.
Yeah, very well done there. That's quite a long striding 2 there, and she just came up nice and forward and big, and the horse found it very, very easy. Then on over this drop over the train to a shortish bounce, and very easily done.
Well, that's the old tram line there, and beautifully sighted fences, and the train being pulled forward from previous years as we move back to the trailblazer, Tegan Lush and Tempest Fugit.
Yeah, you can see she's really moving a lot more forward than she started off, and so she's feeling very good that the horse has given her a great round and finishes over the Qantas Welcome Home. What a great finish.
Well, punches the air and a great round there. Well, Jessica Manson and the lovely little Legal Star now at the Channel 7 logo corner, and it's a big corner there and makes very light work.
And coming down now to this water fence, beautifully balanced in, over the raft, took out a flag, and another, oh gee, didn't she nearly come off there?
Well, very lucky again, and we may just see the ground jury down there, Jill, to have a look at the ground conditions. And some anxious moments for Jessica and Connections. Let's have a word with Jess.
Jumped well, and then he landed and sort of, I'm not 100% sure what happened, he sort of just buckled at the knees a little bit. Besides that, we sort of put that behind us and kept going.
5, 4,
So next away, Taryn Proctor. Taryn from Ferny Creek in Victoria.
And here we see Legal Star again, and this is great to see this young girl doing so well, mentored by Olympic silver medalist Sonia Johnson, and she finishes over the Qantas Welcome Home, and she's very, very happy with that, checking her watch.
Well, here we have Isabel English with Feldale Mouse, owned by Sarah Nicholas English. 12 years old now, aiming to compete in either badminton or Burghley, the 4 stars over in the UK, and this a very talented young rider indeed. In Adelaide's fashionable East End, Rundle Street is a stone's throw from the cross-country course. We catch up with Queensland's rising star, 19-year-old Isabel English.
Both my parents rode, they both evented. Mum still rides, so I just followed in her footsteps, I guess, and then, yeah, got addicted. Probably cross-country is probably the strongest phase for us. My horse, Feldau Mouse, has very cheeky personality. That's probably why I find the dressage the most difficult, most obedient sometimes. But I think his quirkiness makes him so good in the other phases. The Australian 3-day event is the most important event of the year, to me anyway. Yeah, you have to master everything and all 3 phases, and obviously to do that would be amazing. So.
Just 20 minutes from the centre of Adelaide is the seaside town of Glenelg, a perfect spot to cool down on a hot summer's day. We caught up with ex-Australian team selector Seamus Marwood and his hopes for the weekend.
This event doesn't qualify us for Rio. We need to do another one next year to qualify for Rio, but this event is certainly a major selection event for Rio. To win a 4-star would be just an amazing lifetime achievement, wherever it leads to from there. So that's certainly where I'm focused this weekend. You know, some people in this field will be very content with just getting a completion, and they'll do really well with that, but you know, I won't be satisfied with anything less than a win this week.
Well, lying third after dressage, he set himself up well for the cross-country. Seamus Marwood from Victoria riding Wild Oats.
Yeah, well, this is a very well-travelled pair this year. They've been to Badminton in England and they've been to Lemühlen in Germany already. So they've done 2 of the 6 4-star events around the world already this year. And here they are in Adelaide, giving it their best shot.
Well, great on-board views now of the corners. Well, a run out there, Jill, at the second of those corners, and it's a very acute angle. Well, in a heartbeat, in a hoofbeat, it's all over for Seamus Marwood.
Yeah, it was only a very small mistake, but it was a $34,000 one for me, so very, very costly too.
Maddie Simpson, Major James down to the water complex by the VIP area. And he just keeps trying, well, another one, just a stumble there on the exit.
And this is definitely something that now the grand jury will be having to seriously consider whether they're going to stop the track and look at the footing.
Well, up to the stag corner, Taryn Proctor, ESB Irish Quest. They've been flying across the country, take the red flag on the first and the second of those corners, but no penalties for that. She looks to be having an absolutely brilliant round.
And here comes Isabel down the hill strongly to the water, but already 6AMB has claimed another scalp.
Yeah, picking up 20 penalties, Feldau Mouse. It's an expensive 20 penalties for the young Isabel English, but putting that behind her as they move on.
I was a little bit deflated after the runoff. I was disappointed, but you have to put it to the back of your mind and keep going and finish. So.
Well, Joe, what's it like for a rider once you've picked up 20 penalties early on course?
Yeah, it's really disappointing because you know you've got that 20, you know you're going to be out of that first place, but you've got to just keep in your mind that you've got to get around this course and get through those finish flags.
Well, down at the water we can see Wayne Copping and his team making running repairs to that problem landing. And very quickly out there doing that. Well, it looks like Isabel English being pulled up on course, so she will now be held out on course, looking very disappointed with being pulled up, and also Taryn Proctor being pulled up as well. So drama all around the course here, Jill.
Yeah, very sad for Taryn. She was going great guns around the track, and to be pulled up just before the water fence, very tough thing to do.
4, 3,
well, the ground repair has been done, and our next away will be Jamie Stitchell. Jamie riding Image Blue Ice, this 16-2 Irish sport horse is looking to complete the 4-star here this year from Charleston in South Australia.
And here's Seamus and Wild Oats coming through what we call the sunken road to a very skinny sea element. Beautifully done.
Well, onto the Bartles Road chicane and a very big fence, and that jumped impressively by Seamus Marwood and Wild Oats.
Seamus has really put his life on the line and he's chasing this Olympic dream. He's desperately wanting to get to Rio now, and he'll do whatever it takes to try and get there.
Remortgaged his house. He's also a police officer, director of Equine Health Science, and this is what it all means to these riders. They will do anything, and as competitive as they like. 2 years to Rio, and they are on that road.
And this young girl, 19 years of age, gee, isn't she talented? Finishing over the Qantas Welcome Home.
You can just see the rain coming down now. Seamus Marwood, Wild Oats up at the Stag Corner complex, taking the longer route, and I think the first we've seen take the longer route up at the corners. Of course, had the problem early on, and the rain really coming down now. Very unusual here in Adelaide.
Yeah, this rain coming down is really a game changer, because all of a sudden your reins are slippery, your saddle's slippery, and here we have Wild Oats coming up to this wonderful Channel 7 fence, and you can really see how narrow the face is there, but how wide it is over the top, and the horse made nothing of it.
Wild Oats down to the FEI water in front of the VIP area. Big bold jump over the log-in. And not only are we here for the 3-day events, we also have an equestrian festival. The return of the Twilight Grant Burge Wines Polo in the Park, where the bubbly will flow in the VIP marquee. The Pride's Easy Feed team and the Grant Burge Wines team battle for glory and ultimate victory. Join us after the break for more action from the International 3-day event here at Adelaide. Welcome back, everybody, and as you join us, Seamus Marwood and Wild Oats jump the last, the Qantas Welcome Home Horseshoe. Disappointing 20 penalties out on track for him.
2, 1, go, come on.
As Sonny Jackson from New South Wales leaves the start box with Gold.
And another thoroughbred horse here with a good young rider, as we see a little bit looky, this horse of Jamie Stitchell's.
Having a real good look around the course as they approach on the inside line, looking to set up for the direct route at the Stag Corners. Just hitting the last and unshipping Jamie Stitchell at the second of those corners. Very unlucky end to their day.
She'll be very sad about that. She was really looking for a good run this weekend, and just put in a chipper, a third stride where there was really only 2, left a leg, and down she went.
Well, just receiving some important medical attention. The team's here, always on hand. And welfare of the horse also paramount at the 3-day events around the world. Sonny Jackson and Gold takes the first of the flags, but holds a very, very straight line.
And now here we see Charlotte Price coming down into the water. Nicely done. And over the Pelican, and you can see there the ground is really holding up well now.
Well, this could be a nerve-wracking start for the next to get underway. Elizabeth Lowry, KL Kismet. Jill, what's it like to start in your first 4-star?
Well, you're always full of fear and trepidation. You've worked your horse up to this standard, but a 4-star is a 4-star, and she'll be going out there with the plan to just make sure she gets through those finish flags.
Sonny Jackson and Gold beautifully through the FEI water complex, galloping into the last third of the track as coming to the Qantas Horseshoe Welcome Home.
Charlotte will be thrilled with this. She's going to get through those finish flags, and she's finished her first 4-star.
Katja Weimann, BP Cosmopolitan, setting up for the Stag Corners now, coming on the inside line, inside that tree. Gets the first stride and another one just to add Another quick stride, but this time a little bit more lucky.
Yeah, this one, I don't think she really lined up the second part of this fence well.
Well, coming to the final fence, the Qantas Welcome Home Horseshoe. Sonny Jackson adding 4.4 to her dressage. As next to go, lying in second place, Belinda Isbister and Holy Bruce will be next to get underway.
Probably the dressage and the show jumping for me is what I know, and I know I can do it really well. And the cross country is something that I'm here to learn more about. It's my first 4-star, and I want to give it my best shot.
Well, just leaving the start box, Belinda Isbister and Holy Bruce. Join us after the break for more action from the CCI 4-star and also the Horseland CCI 2-star.
Living in Hahndorf is just beautiful. Like, we just, coffee shops are nice, Adelaide's close, shopping's easy. Yes, we have to travel 10 hours to this event and 15 hours to that event, but honestly, I wouldn't live anywhere else. Just love it to pieces. In Hahndorf, just being so close to the city, it allows us to have a really good setup at home. We have a really big school there. We have about 30-odd school horses, and we cater for saddle club, ready set trot, trail rides. Just to win here just means so much. It's our biggest event, and to get around clear here and fast is always really hard.
So the overnight leaders being counted down to get their 4-star campaign underway. It is Megan Jones and Kirby Park all of a sudden. 14 years old now, very experienced. Megan in the saddle, off to a good start, clear of the first.
As we have Kismet.
So up to the stag corners, this former Royal Show hack. Gets her line, holds to the second, on the slightly long rein, but Elizabeth Lowry, KL Kismet, gets a pat from Elizabeth.
As we have Fox Hill about to start. This horse has been out and about around this course a couple of times already, and she's going to be out for a good run today.
Down to the FEI water, Elizabeth Lowry and KL Kismet. Big bull jump in. Just sorts out the steering, Elizabeth Lowry. Elizabeth doing a great job and looking full of running.
As we have Belinda Isbister coming up the hill for this double of corners. Oh, and she definitely didn't get that line to the first fence at all. He just didn't get his eye on it early, and so now she's going to have to come around to jump it again.
Well, here comes Elizabeth Lowry to the last.
To come through the Qantas was just a great, the Qantas finish was just the best feeling. I wanted to put my hand up for one of the photographers. I knew was there, but I was like, no, in case I fall off. But no, it was a great feeling, and just to cross that finish line and know that I hadn't had a stop and my horse had just jumped amazing was just the best feeling.
Well, just completing her round, Elizabeth Lowry, but really putting her cards on the table, stamping her authority was the 22-year-old Jessica Manson and Legal Star, and putting pressure on this lady. The overnight leader, Megan Jones and Kirby Park, all of a sudden through the first water.
Yeah, he looked a little bit sticky down the hill and to the first water, and Megan gave him a bit of a shake-up. He's probably not galloping as fast as Jess Manson at this part of the course.
Belinda Isbister and Holy Bruce up at the Rose Garden complex, coming to the Channel 7 corner, the very wide corner. Belinda, oh no, parting company with Holy Bruce. Already had that run out, remember, at the stag corner, and that's sadly now elimination for Belinda. Just hitting it with the front leg and popping poor Belinda Isbister out of the saddle. Getting a lift back there with our course designer Wayne Copping, who's done a truly remarkable job here.
And Megan's all of a sudden fighting a little bit with Megan coming into that fence, didn't really have his eye on it, but a nice jump over the bike and onto the Channel 7. Yes, he cleared that very well, and galloping on now down to the water through the beautiful Rose Garden.
Well, I think the ground held up here remarkably well, Jill, with the very heavy rain, and another sticky jump for Kirby Park all of a sudden. Megan Jones using all of her experience and not getting the stride that she would have liked coming out of the FEI water, and gallops on strongly away. Just see a repeat of that and having to slip the rein and ride very strongly to the raft, and then holding Kirby Park all of a sudden together to try and get the best stride she can on the exit route. Well, on they go. Just a few jumping efforts left to go for them as they come to the IRT log stumps. Undulating ground. There's great topography here at Adelaide. Changing across from one parkland to the next.
As we see Fox Hill coming down to the water now. And over the raft, this one's looking a little smoother than Megan coming before her. Jumps well out over the Pelican and galloping on around the course.
On to the final fence then, Megan Jones with Kirby Park all of a sudden hasn't looked like the quickest of rounds, with the time penalties to add, has now put Megan behind the 22-year-old Jessica Manson, Legal Star.
I was satisfied at the finished with a clear, but unsatisfied with my time. Yeah, I really thought I could have been a lot faster than that, but I just think just wasted so much time at each fence and then just couldn't get it quite fast enough.
Well, Kira Burns and Fox Hill, the last combination, come home to the final fence. Clear jumping, but a few time penalties. It's all pressure on the top two for the show jumping tomorrow. And the leaders going into the show jumping will be Legal Star and Jessica Manson, with one fence and a couple of time faults in hand over Kirby Park all of a sudden, and Megan Jones.
3, 2, 1, go.
The Qantas Cross Country Day started early, and the first away were the Horseland CCI two-star competitors. And trouble all the way around for these riders.
It's a very tough track, this track, for these two-star horses. They're the second level of international competition. So green horses, there's young riders, horses looking at all of these sorts of distractions around the course. They don't see it anywhere else in Australia, and it's a very important class to get these horses ready for international competition overseas.
Shots just then of Wendy Schaefer making the trip back from the UK just a couple of weeks ago to prepare herself for the two-star here. And these riders really had their work cut out. The optimum time, a lot easier for the two-star than it was for the four-star. And here we have Megan Jones. Megan with 3 horses in the Horseland CCI two-star and 1 horse in the four-star.
And here's Christine Bates, the leader after the dressage, Kung Fu Panda. A lovely horse with a lot of speed to finish the day in the lead going into the show jumping.
Join us after the break for the concluding part of the 3-day event, the show jumping. Welcome back to the final day here at the Adelaide International 3-day event for the final horse inspection in front of the ground jury members, Riccardo Bordoni from Italy, Annabelle Scrimmager from Great Britain, and Christian Landolt from Switzerland.
A lot of people always wonder what the grand jury does. They really see us just doing the dressage, but effectively we oversee the whole competition. We start with a veterinary inspection on the very first day to make sure the horses are fit and ready to run. We then, of course, judge the dressage, which is probably where we are almost the most influential. Then we supervise the whole cross-country, make sure that everything runs smoothly, but also that there is no abuse of horse, that there's no dangerous riding or tired horses, which could again bring to an accident. On the Sunday morning, we then check the fitness of the horses again before they're allowed to jump, and then we judge the show jumping. So it is also quite a marathon for us.
The final day dawned a lot warmer than the rain of yesterday, and John Valence's show jumping track was there for all of them to jump. Lying in second place after the cross country, we see Kirsty Douglas with Kershaven Crackerjack, and looking to put the pressure on the overnight leaders, Christine Bates and Kung Fu Panda.
Yes, Kershaven Crackerjack is known to be a very good show jumping horse, so she really put the pressure here on Christine Bates and Kung Fu Panda, and he was just tapping the fences a lot. One went down.
Well, they could afford one fence down, but no more.
And another one. So out of the frame and down the leaderboard.
So the winners and the 2014 champions for the Horseland CCI 2-star, Kirsty Douglas and Cashaven Crackerjack.
There is quite a story behind this horse. 2 years ago he was 2-star and third. He did a season of 3-star and the plan was to come back here 4-star, but he actually punctured his eyeball the beginning of this year. He's had 2 surgeries and a lot of time in the vet and a lot of money, but he has his eye and he can see, and it hasn't stopped him. He's better than ever. He just feels amazing.
As the riders come out for the 4-star now to walk John Valence's track, a very important time for them to make sure that they know exactly where they're going to be going around this course.
Well, real tense times for these combinations, and the question on everybody's lips was who was going to be the winner of the CCI 4-star here at Adelaide. Turning for the final line, Sonny Jackson and Gold. This has been a very influential line, short distance between the treble and the last. Well, a great jump, great round for Sonny Jackson and Gold. 2 fences down, 8 to add, so putting the pressure on. Into the top 3 we move, and in 3rd place, Elizabeth Lowry and KL Kismet. The time allowed of 95 seconds was proving very tight for the show jumping in the 4-star, and problems spread across the board. Just 2 combinations left to go, and all eyes were on Megan Jones and Kirby Park all of a sudden, and to put the pressure on overnight leaders, Jessica Manson and Legal Star. She needed a clear round to put the pressure on, and this a lovely jumping horse.
Megan is very much a show jumping rider. She's calm, she's cool, and she gives the horse every chance to keep those rails up.
Looking very composed, Megan. Kirby Park all of a sudden. No stranger to these scenes. Had an interesting ride across the country yesterday, picking up 19.2 time penalties, which saw them drop away from the top of the leaderboard into 2nd place, which meant that the 22-year-old Jessica Manson, Legal Star, rose up to the lead.
Megan looking very balanced coming into this last line. Very important last line.
Still clear all the way. Time tight.
Super jump over that last fence. And so she's really now put the pressure on.
Well, just 1.25 seconds inside the time allowed of 95 seconds, so it couldn't have been closer for Megan Jones and Kirby Park all of a sudden. She's now done all she can to put the pressure on the overnight leaders. Great round from Megan.
She's won it before, a silver medalist from the Beijing Olympics, and she's putting all the pressure on this young 22-year-old.
Well, Legal Star comes into the show jumping, and Jessica very confident with this little horse. Stock horse, 13 years old.
And he's a good little jumping horse. He doesn't like to have rails. He likes to keep the fences up. But that's because they've got such a wonderful partnership together. Young Jess gives him every chance to jump these fences clean. And she's got so much confidence in him.
Only 22 years of age. They were 4th here in the 4-star back in 2012.
And he's obviously pulled up well from yesterday's rigours of cross-country, because he's looking fresh as a daisy as he's jumping over these fences.
Very up-to-height track here in the Atco Main Arena in Victoria Park for the last day of show jumping. John Valence set a really, really interesting course. Lots of twists and turns to keep the riders thinking the whole way round, and lots of opportunities for them to lose time on their way.
A little rattle there, but it stayed up. And you can see his little ears pricked. He can see where he's going, and he's looking like he wants to keep them. Oh, beautiful over that fence.
Related distance of 5 strides, well, gives that even more of a rub, but it stays in the cups. So it's the final line of fences for the young Jessica Manson and Legal Star. from Western Australia. There's a great support team here. Well, you can see her friends in the back giving her lots of encouragement, and it's the biggest win of her career. Jessica Manson and Legal Star, I don't think she can quite believe it. She's the winner of the International 3-Day event here at Adelaide, the 4-star 3-day event and the second leg of the FEI Classics.
Just look at that beaming face, she's so happy.
Well, Legal Star looking equally pleased. And Jill, just tell us, what must it be like for the young 22-year-old?
Oh, it's the most amazing feeling to win an event like this. You feel goosebumps. Even now, just watching this, I can feel goosebumps for her. So much time, so much energy, so much effort to get into an event like this.
You know, it means so much. It's really, you've put so much time and effort and work into these horses, so for it to all go out as planned is really amazing.
And he felt super. I got a big side of it, fence 8 and 9, I had to take a breath, slow down, regroup, so I had heaps of fences to go, but he just jumped them like just a star.
I love Adelaide. It's all it's all I look forward to all season, just going to Adelaide.
Well, what an amazing weekend for the 22-year-old Jessica Manson and Legal Star. They join the Roll of Honour, and what a prolific Roll of Honour that is. Olympians including Chris Burton, Stuart Tinney, Wendy Schaefer and Heath Ryan. Megan Jones, of course, the former winner here and silver medalist from the Beijing Olympics. Could this be the winner of Rio de Janeiro in 2016? We'll have to wait and see. Well, it's been an incredible 4 days of competition from Jill Rolton and myself, Spencer Sturmey. We'll see you here in Adelaide next year.